started. Okay, there we go. Okay, again, I'm Tommy Clifford. Thanks for coming. I kind of want to start just telling you a little story. So back during COVID, I was asked to be a transaction coordinator, and I got my license in COVID. And then the agents that I was working for asked me, "Do you know how to take pictures?" "Well, I know how to take pictures." "No, you know how to take real estate pictures?" And for some reason, and the answer is, I guess I didn't. And for some reason, that seemed to be an elusive group of people. And, you know, a lot of them didn't want to tell us how they were doing it. It seemed to be very secretive. You know, they're making $300-400 a whack. Didn't want to share that kind of information with me. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out myself. So I did a little research, and pretty much everything here is an open book. I'm going to tell you exactly what I went through. I'm going to tell you every tool, everything I have. You're going to leave here with a website that has everything you need to buy. You're going to leave here with all the settings. You're going to leave here with pretty much everything that you can do. So probably 6 months worth of research that I did, not solid 6 months. I mean, I slept and ate and, you know, maybe went to church. But basically all the research I did, you're going to have right here, and you're going to be able to go. Now, one thing that I was kind of cognizant of is every picture that you'll see in here is pictures that I've taken. So there aren't any pictures. There's like some little graphics and stuff, but all the pictures, the before after pictures, are pictures that I have taken with my iPhone. Now I know there's some Android people in here, and I don't mean to just keep the Android people out of it. I just happen to be an Apple person. The software that I used specifically was Apple specific software or iOS specific software. There are great apps that you can use on the Android. I'm going to point you to some great apps. I haven't personally used them because I don't have an Android, but the system and the process will work regardless. If you're an Android user, we're just going to have to do a little bit of homework and a little testing and trialing to make sure that we got it dialed in. I have it dialed in on the iOS, and I would have no problem with you saying, "Here you go. Here's my tripod. Let's go to a listing appointment right now, and let's take 40 pictures, and in 18 hours you'd have them back, and they'd be just as good as you had paid, you know, somebody a couple $100 for." Keegan, welcome. Thank you. Here's your crib notes. Here's your cheat sheet. And everybody in Zoom land, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to stop me. Just ask questions, whatever you need. I want to make this for you. And I know we only have a small, finite amount of time together, but I'm always here. I'm always available to walk you through this, hold your hand, make sure that you're successful. Because I'll do exactly what other people didn't do for me.
Is it compatible with Windows?
There is no desktop computer specific component to this. You can take the pictures with your iPhone or your Android phone. You download the pictures, or in the iPhone case, it automatically is going to upload them. You just go to a website.
That's what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so here's our outline. We're going to do a couple before and after pictures. Then we're going to go and we're going to talk about drones for a second. Tools you need. We're going to go for our pre-photo checklist. Then we're going to go through a walkthrough. Then we're going to go picture day, and we're going to be uploaded to the MLS. We're going to take care of it all in the next 4 or 5 hours. Okay. So these are just before and after picture. This is a home on Broad Street in Menasha. One of the things that you're going to focus on this picture is the fact that on the after picture, you can see that there's a picture in the TV, and you can notice that that you can see clearly through the windows. So that's a telltale sign. The windows is a huge sign of whether it's a good photo job or not. And that's all there's to it. This house, you can just see the sky. You can see how bright it is. And when I took this, I knew this class was coming up, so I actually went and said, okay, here's a picture, basic iPhone job.
Is everyone doing glare?
Yeah, it's
That's better, actually.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect,
Okay, yeah,
perfect.
just because I'm.
No.
It's hard to see. I don't know.
Thank you.
I just like good lighting.
Now, in this picture, you'll notice the grass. So they did some work on the grass, little Oompa Loompas in the sky did some, we got our kitchen. Bathroom. Now here's something else you don't know. You notice in the before picture, you see I'm in the before picture and I'm not in the after picture, so they took it out. Little guys took that out. That's attention to detail. They also straightened some angles. Now, if you go, I do have a, I think on one of the website, there's actually a website we have a before and after, and you can switch back and forth and see the before and after. Those are all shots I did too. Okay. Drones. So I just want to get this out of the way quickly. Drones are extremely sexy and extremely, everyone goes gaga for the whole drone thing. Just don't. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's why I'm going to tell you. If you want to get licensed, then do it. If you're not licensed, don't even get close to it. But here's why. The FAA doesn't play any games. The FAA will come after you. The big key here is in red. You cannot have any side jobs or in-kind work allowed. So if someone says, oh, you don't have to pay me, you're still getting commercial benefit from it. You can't even post videos on YouTube if you're someday will get if you think you're going to monetize those videos, because then the FAA will come after you and make you pull them all down. And that's how serious it really is. So the FAA is not playing games here. If you want to get your license, it's not very hard. I am not licensed. I leave it up to a professional. But I mean, a $350 drone and probably maybe $120, $130 course will get you ready for it, and you can do that if you want, if that's important. But leave it up to professionals or get licensed. Just don't. The FAA, I know plenty of friends who have posted videos on YouTube and they were monetized and this and this and this, and the FAA made them pull it all down and the whole thing. So I see you shaking your head, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I would, if drone's important, find a drone guy and just be, and have that be, or follow the proper channels to do it. Don't cheat. Because if you're getting gain from it, whether you paid that guy or not, there's still a monetization there, and it's a sticky situation. Okay. Okay, tools. The best camera that money can buy is sitting in your pocket. This is an iPhone 14. Some of these pictures that you're going to see were taken on an iPhone 11. So any phone in the last 3, maybe even 4 years is far superior than any DSLR that came out probably 5 or 6 years ago. This is by far better than any Nikon or Canon or anything that happened to be that may be 5 or 6 years old. So the horsepower and the lens quality of this device is remarkable and has been for some time. So you're going to need a smartphone. You're going to need a tripod. You're going to need an app that takes bracketed pictures, and I want to talk about that in a second. You're going to need $1.60 per picture to get them processed, and that's it. That's really it. And that takes us to the tool page. Everybody, same QR code right here. Just takes you all the tools. There's links to all my suggestions. Again, the Android people, it's going to take you to some apps that I have not personally vetted because I'm not an Android user. But all the settings and stuff that you're going to need are all generic settings. It should be right here. And I know the tool that processes it can handle what we got going on. Okay. Again, you don't need $1,000, $1,500, $2,500 piece of camera gear to do this. You just need a tripod, you need your smartphone, and that's really it, and a website to go to. Okay, tripod, 100% non-negotiable. And the reason it's non-negotiable is that when you take bracketed pictures, the camera can't be moving. And a bracketed picture, and I'll show you in a minute, is a series of X amount of pictures that are going to be overexposed and underexposed, and then they get brought together to make one picture. So this happens to be Joby must have a special deal, because when I bought this, this was like 75 bucks. Now it's 130 bucks, but Joby has exactly the same model with a cool handle on it, so you can just kind of position it where, however you want it. Makes it really simple, really easy. It's retractable, pretty much can fold in your backpack or wherever you want, and it's pretty much bulletproof for what needs to be done. And your smartphone just clips in the top here. You can just, smartphone's not going around, so when you're walking around the property, you just grab it, set it down, obviously with the legs extended, set it down, click and done. That's all, that's really all there is to it. Another really important piece of kit is the mount. You have to have a solid iPhone, or just solid mount, and this mount goes probably another 1.5 inches, 2 inches wider, so pretty much any smartphone will fit into it. I've actually seen people use iPads and tablets to this. You just need a different mount. That's all there is to it. You might need a different tripod just for, based on the size of the, don't want it to be top heavy. Okay. App. Currently right now, there's a company that we're going to talk about in a second called Box Brownie. And prior to me starting working on this class, I had used an app that cost me 10 bucks. But it did bracketing. Since I started investigating this class, Box Brownie actually came out with their own free app. It's called Snap, Snap, Snap. And it's free. It's in the iOS store. You can go download it. On the tools page, there's actually a link that takes you right to the iOS page. So if you're on the tools page on your smartphone, bam, it'll take you right to it. There's also some different, right below it, Open Camera, Komodo, and Camera V5 or FV5 are all Android equivalents that I found that do bracketing. So if that's your hustle, that can certainly get you going. Okay, here's what bracketing is, and we have the Snap, Snap, Snap app. Say that 10 times fast. Actually takes 7, they do a 7-picture bracket. 1 picture you would consider a normal exposure, then they do 3 overs and 3 underexposed. And here in this example, you can see what the finished picture looks like. And then you can see, oh wow, okay, so it's just stepping exposure all the way through. And what happens, what's interesting is when you see the picture and you look at the window, because it's easy to tell in the window, and you say, well, I can't see anything, it's blowing out, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Okay, now so it takes the best of all those little features, brings it all together into one look. And so that's what bracketed is, and that's why it's important. Taking one simple photo with your smartphone isn't going to cut it. And that's why the tripod is critical. That's a deal breaker. No tripod, no bracketing, because you certainly can't have your phone moving in between shots. Also important, and we'll talk about this in a second, is no ceiling fans, no pets. And if you're in a windy condition and the leaves and trees are swaying, then chances are an outside shot might need to be made when it's not so windy. That's from experience. But you don't really think about that. Oh, the flag's waving. Okay, now you got the flag in 2 or 3 different locations in a different picture. And thankfully, these guys are smart enough to send it. They'll take the flag, they'll composite the flag from other pictures and bring it in. So these guys do a really great job of processing these pictures so they make you look a lot better than you probably I deserve. Okay. So with regard to settings, and you can see this picture in the bottom left-hand corner, or right, the other left, the right-hand corner there. We've got the TV screen in there. We've got the, clear windows. Couple key things. Bracketing has to be on. And in the Snap app that Box Brownie gives away for free, you don't have to know any of this stuff. It just does it. And it'll just takes all this into consideration. And just honestly, I start the app, I put it into my phone, and I'm taking pictures. And we'll do it in a few minutes. We'll put up here, I'm taking pictures. You want your resolution as high as you can get it. You want it to be 4:3. Then what's going to happen is one f-stop stepping. EV step means how it's going to bracket. It's going to go one f-stop for each picture, plus one f-stop 1, 2, 3, minus one f-stop 1, 2, 3. And if you have an app that says, well, I only get 5 brackets, plus neutral 1, 2, neutral 1, 2, that's fine also. That's not an issue. The amount of brackets isn't important. People can argue that more brackets equals a better picture. That's not 100% true. That's kind of like the fake promoting lie that my camera has higher megapixel count, so it's a much better camera than yours. That's not necessarily true. It's how much light is captured. There's all kinds of other things with it. But for the most part, but what is 100% true, and Moses was on the tablets, bracketing takes a much better picture than non-bracketing picture. That's a given. No one can argue that. So that was one of the 10 commandments. I know it was. Maybe it was 11. Okay, you want your ISO at 40 or below, white balance, auto, and flash off. There was not one picture taken with my flash on. Actually, the flash causes more problems than it solves, because the flash. Have you ever been to like a rock concert? You're like at third row and you want to get a great picture of Kiss, and you take a picture and you got your flash on, and then you go back and it looks horrible. Oh no, it's just me. Okay, so the flash can actually ruin the picture because it fools the camera into thinking it's going to get something when it's not. So you want the flash 100% off. Okay. This is 100% the secret sauce behind the whole thing. It really is. It's a company called Box Brownie. They're out of Australia. I'm not getting paid by Box Brownie. I'm not a shill for them. There may be other services out there that do just as good a job. Whatever you want to do, have at it. I'm just telling you, this is the formula. This is the secret sauce. This is what works for me. This will work for you. If you try something else, it may work great. Hallelujah. If it doesn't, your mileage may vary. There you go. So they're out of Australia. They have 24/7, 365 chat support, which is pretty remarkable. It doesn't cost you any money to create an account. They will actually give you 4 pictures for free to try it. So you can take some pictures in your home. Here you go, upload 4 pictures. 24 hours later, you get your pictures back. And it's $1.60 per finished picture. They do a lot of other things that I can talk about at length at a later time. Dusk to dawn pictures. They can do virtual staging, all kinds of other different floor plans, different things. But cut and dry, $1.60 per picture, uploaded at 5 o'clock at night, almost like clockwork. When I wake up in the morning, there's pictures in my inbox. Download them, upload them to the MLS. Crowds cheering. That's all there's to it. And it is free, and it is 100% free to sign up. Okay. Now, had a really great friend, Pat Taylor, who once said, measure twice, cut once. Why is this relevant in here? If you're doing pictures for yourself or another agent, there's a lot of work to getting that home to look the way it's going to look. And the chances that it's going to stay that way, we got to get the rabbit out, we got to get Fido out, I got to get the kids out, I got to do this, and this. So test your process first. And again, you can use your Box Brownie credits for your testing, so it shouldn't cost you very much. And if you want to go above and beyond, it's $1.60, and that's it. Okay, what do I get for $1.60? I'm not gonna read them all down here, but some of the big things is vertical and horizontal straightening. When you use a wide angle camera, when you use a wide angle lens, your walls might look like they're coming on in, different things don't look like they're straight. They handle that all in there on their process. They will remove, if you happen to have any lint on your lens, or there is a blemish on the wall, they'll take care of it for you. If it's a fall day, can box brownie be used for pictures we've already taken? Nancy Keller, from our home audience, thank you for that question. The answer is yes, they can. They do have a service where you can actually upload one picture and they will do retouching and some things to it. Now, it won't be as substantial as a bracketed shot in the contrast and different things of that nature, but they can do some great things. They can certainly do the lawn replacement, the water enhancement for pools. They can do the TV screens, put the fire in the fireplace. So absolutely they can. And what I would do is I would upload some pictures to them, give it a try, see what you think, and then go from there. But they do have a single image and a bracketed image selection. So great question, Nancy. Thank you for joining out in Zoom land. I appreciate your support here. Okay, another big one. You're in the bathroom and you got your tripod there. You're going to be seen in a mirror. And that's all there's to it. You're gone. I have no idea how they do that, but I'm in almost every mirror shot and it's gone, and it's cool. It's very cool. Thank you, Amanda, for helping there.
So are you saying that we take the picture, take the bracketed picture, and for $1.60 they edit it?
Correct. You upload, so, okay, great question. So I'm gonna go and I just took 20 pictures. Quick, 20 times 7.
140.
Okay, good. I was gonna say 138, but that's good. Okay, 140 pictures. You're actually gonna send them 140 pictures. You'll upload 140 pictures. If you use the app, it'll do it automatically. Let's go. Let's say, are you ready to upload? Close this project? Yes. You'll name it a project 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Picture, 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 picture. When it's all done, 10, 15 minutes later, so you say, okay, we got it. Now I lost where I was going with this whole thing.
We put the pictures in and they get
Yes.
an edited picture.
And they're gonna come in, they're gonna combine it, and they have I think the 17 step checkpoints that they do on every picture.
Wow.
And then you're gonna get an email that's gonna say, hey, big spender, thanks for the order. And then when you wake up the next morning, it's gonna say, your order is done. And you're gonna download a zip file with 20 pictures instead of the 140 that you sent them.
So the bracketed picture, if the bracketed picture takes 7 pictures, is it $1.60 per or just? per
Great
picture
question.
that they spit out?
$1.60 per finished picture. So in our example, you're taking 20 pictures, 20 times $1.60.
Yeah,
So less than your dinner at Chili's with your date.
yeah.
I prefer Applebee's.
I don't go to Applebee's.
Kidding. Closed.
So that's what you get. Now, you can tell them, I don't want you to touch the TVs. I don't want fires in the fireplace, and I like the lawn the way it is. They won't touch it. And you can tell them on a picture by picture basis. You can set preferences.
That's a super good deal.
But when I'm talking about, I mean, I've taken some fall pictures with like lawns covered with leaves, and it looked like I took it in June. I mean, that kind of deal. They'll just replace. I've had some lawns that look like dirt, and it could be an oversell under deliver situation. That's somebody else's discussion, not mine. But they make it look, sharp. They do a great job. The pool, they'll clear up the water so it looks like it's in Fiji, the whole 9 yards. It's a decent. They do a really good job. Okay. Now, this is an abbreviated version of our pre-photo checklist. On the website, or right there, Box Brownie actually has a pre-photo checklist. We're not gonna go through every part of that checklist, but let's talk about some of these things because I think they're super important. And then I'm gonna teach you a trick on how you can make this kind of painless for yourself. You want to make sure that those sellers neutralize that home. You want it to look like an Airbnb or a Hilton hotel room when you walk in. You don't want the soap on the counter. You don't want the dog dish on the floor. You don't want the toothbrush in the toothbrush on the countertops. You want to make sure that the windows are clean, the mirrors are clean, and that the blinds are open. You want to make sure that there's no trash cans. What I've done, and I've been in some homes that have been like totally showroom new, and then some homes that are in really rough shape. What I'll do is the owner would be part of the process with me, and we would neutralize a room. Another room's not neutralized, you know, that'll be kind of the holding spot, everything goes back, you know, dish rack, this goes back. You get it. I mean, obviously it's one point in time. It proves the home could look like this. It doesn't mean it's looking like this at every moment, but this is also helping when they have showings. Because you don't want to have bills around. You don't want to have, you know, your firearms around. You don't want to have your credit card statements or canceled checks or any kind of like stuff like that. You might not want to have the pictures of, you know, Cindy, Billy, and Bob on the wall either. You want to take them off. That's your choice, but I try to tell them you want this to be sterile. People are going to be coming into your home and are going to be invading your privacy. You gotta, if you want anything to be private, I would hide it. Okay. Hide those trash cans. Mats on the floor make the room look smaller. Get rid of the mats, get rid of the trash cans. Lights on. Every single light you want on in the house when you're taking pictures, because it just makes it look pop. It just makes it pop. It's so great. It really is. Okay, ceiling fans have to be off because bracketed, no movement. So ceiling fans, animals, Fido's got to go. Fido cannot be in the house. Fido's done. You want to make sure, excuse me, to remove all the remotes, controllers, cords, declutter as much as possible. And again, it's just, you just got to hide it, but you want to make sure that it is gone. This might seem really stupid. Close the toilet seat. I've seen way too many real estate pictures with the toilet seat up. I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, somebody fell asleep at the wheel. Okay, neither here nor there. Ditch the hand soap. It was so important. I said, hide the trash bins twice. Nice. Also, as soon as people find out that you do this, you now become their best friend. Because everybody's got a problem with their person. So you may be asked to, hey, can you help me take pictures for this? Because it's worth real cash for you to take pictures for people. If you're good and reliable and have a super e-key and can get access to a home, it's something that could be done. In your pre-checklist, you got to think about, how am I going to get access to that home if it's not your own listing? Do I need to use Supra? Do I have to get a door key? Do I have to do this, and this? And just coordinate with the owner. Can I need the house for an hour? Or you can be here, you just got to be in another room. And I'll just tell you, and it's a pretty short, I mean, this whole bracketed thing, it sounds like a big deal. It's a click, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pick it up and move to the next area. Not a huge deal. Okay. We're getting ready for this. So we got to get our tripod and our smartphone. We need to get our app set up and ready, and then we're going to start taking pictures. Okay. We need to make sure that you put your smartphone into airplane mode. You don't want to get a phone call while your picture's being taken, because then it might disturb it. So I always put my smartphone on airplane mode. Something so important. it'll wait for 30, 40 minutes. And then make sure that the legs of your tripod are fully extended, and you want your smartphone to kind of be about chest high. And just as you start doing this for yourself, you might start paying more attention to what other people are doing. A little bit of cruising on the MLS is going to help you look for, hey, I want to do that, or wait a minute, I don't want to do that. And you're going to start, as a real estate agent, you notice who walked into a home with their iPhone and just started holding it, vertically and started clicking pictures. You know the difference, you really do. And you say to yourself, okay, I realize this home is only $250,000, but I can give this $1 million listing photo pretty darn easily. So do a little bit of research and just look at what people are posting and then go, okay, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. And when I'm thinking, think about angles, think about what's important. Okay, that 6-burner stove, that's important. Okay, I can get a picture of that, but you're not necessarily going to stand right in front of it. Here's a stove. It's part of, you're telling a story. You really are. And I don't want to make it more than it really is, but as you get more into this, you'll just walk in and go, okay, I know that. I know that. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Okay. Now, you want to double check your settings. A thing that I really like is in most apps, you can turn on the grid on your smartphone. And that's just going to be a series of lines to help you keep things straight. You help you keep the countertop straight, or help you keep it in line with the fridge, whatever it happens to be, there'll be a focal point in your shot. Use that tool that it's given. That's given to you. And lastly, you want to make sure that you securely put your phone into the mount. And when I start a photo shoot, I'll just put my smartphone in it, and it doesn't leave the mount until the job's done. About 45 minutes, it's always on airplane mode, peace and quiet. I'll walk into a home. If it's a brand new, sometimes someone says, hey, I want you to take 1313 Mockingbird Lane, I want you to take pictures of it. I immediately go to the MLS and see if there's some old pictures, or realtor.com, some old pictures, so I at least know what I'm looking for when I go down the street to find it. I get there, I ask, is a homeowner gonna be home? No. How do I get in? Super easy. Good. Okay, I'll park. I won't park close to the house either, because if you're in a front room and you're taking pictures out the front window there, no one wants to see my Porsche 911 Turbo or my Ford Escape either. Depends on the day I don't have a Porsche. So you just have to be mindful of that. Okay, I don't want my car there. And sometimes the owners will pull their car out into the street because you tell them, can you pull a little bit farther down the street, just so that so you have a view of the home without a car in it. And then I'll take the outside shots, and then I'll go on the inside. But before I go on the inside, I'll turn all the lights on. I'll kind of walk the house just to get a little preview. And I'm thinking in my mind, okay, got this room, all the lights on, blinds open, ceiling fans off. I'll just look, I start looking for those little clutter things. Is this here? Is this here? Is this here? If it feels like you're walking into a hotel, then the pre-checklist did its job. And I skipped over something important. Let's go back to the pre-checklist. You're going to download that pre-checklist, and there's probably 40 or 50 different little bullet points, room by room. One of the best things, if it's your listing, what you do is you tell the sellers, I'm going to take a couple pictures and I'm going to send you some ideas. So what you do is you take out your smartphone, you go take some pictures of the room, and when you go home, you open it up on your smartphone with your app, you hit edit, and you just start circling stuff. And then you email it back to them. Does two things: get your point across, and you're not in front of them to hear the negativity. And it works. And sometimes I'll just take my iPad with my app pencil. You gotta ditch this, you gotta ditch this. Football trophy is not important anymore, that's gotta go. I would lock the gun case, that kind of stuff.
No, you get rid of those.
So that's a great trick to use. Just take a couple quick snaps with your phone on a listing appointment or your first visit. Well, I'll be back in a week. Well, I gotta do this. Okay, let me just take a look around. I'll send you some suggestions. You take the pictures, you circle the suggestions, you email back to them. The pushback is limited if at all, and it's fantastic. Okay.
We got somebody in the chat.
Oh, we got a chat coming up. Thank you, Amanda, for being our chat person. Tommy, different Zooms work better in certain rooms, especially tight bathrooms. Can you change Zooms from room to room? Okay, the answer is depends on the app. The app that I'm suggesting, the iPhone app is one, it's 0.06 and it just stays that. We're not actually zooming, you're just using a wide angle lens. So there's no zoom going on here. We're using the wide angle lens the whole time. Again, your mileage may vary depending on which app you're using, but I've always used a wide angle lens, either 0.5 or 0.6 is pretty much what I've always used in that regard. Great question, Kevin. Thank you for participating and setting up a flare here. Okay. So
So thank you.
when you start taking your pictures, you got to make sure your tripod is planted firmly, frame your shot, push the button quick, and then I just will put my hands back so I don't want to touch it because it'll go like give a little quick countdown and you'll hear the thing go 7 times, then it's done. Then you move to the next spot and you repeat it. It's that simple. It really is. Okay. So I always take the outside pictures first, but your mileage may vary, doesn't make any difference. To be honest with you, it makes no difference. Remember the front facing door picture that you're going to be having on the MLS. That's huge. That's a huge picture. That's the first impression that homeowner is going to get. That seller is going to get. So you want to make sure that picture is some of the best shots you got there. Don't forget the garden area and the garage in the backyard. Some people, there's people who are shop area. I want to see the shop. I want to see the compressor. There's other people. I want to see where the garden's going to be. I want to see the river, whatever it happens to be. You'll know what the showcase piece of this home is. Also, there's some people who pass right by and go, I want to see what the kitchen looks like. That's the most important thing. Remember that. I've never had a seller tell me, wow, you took way too many pictures of the kitchen. That's not going to happen. So spend some extra time in the kitchen. The main living area, the main bath, and the main bedroom. Those are what sells this property. And that's what you're going to spend the money on. Okay, now you are done. You've taken all your pictures. Now what do you do? Okay, I had to branch this off because there's going to be two different ways to handle it. We're going to focus on the Apple people first, then we'll get to the Android people. Okay, what you have to do first is go to the Box Brownie website and you have to purchase credits. And the reason you have to do it that way is because Apple takes 30% if you buy it through the app. So they don't even offer it. Google Play would do the same thing. I mean, it's all the same thing. So you just go to Box Brownie and you say, okay, I just took 20 pictures, 20 times $1.60. There you go. Put your credit card in, expiration date. Done. And then as soon as, literally 10 seconds after that happens, I'll go back to the app. I'll click back on my shopping cart and it'll say you have 20 credits here, upload. And I'll just plug it in and I'll walk away. 10 minutes later, it says it's done. You'll get an email when it's completed. The uploads will happen automatically and then there's nothing for you to do. It's pretty seamless. Okay. Android people are a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
What you're going to have to do is you have to get those images onto your device. whether you're using Google Drive or Dropbox or Google Photos, whatever your hustle is, you need to get those pictures onto your computer. Then you just go to Box Brownie, you start a new job. And there's gonna be like a big box that says drag and drop the images here. It's gonna ask you how many finished pictures are you gonna have? You say, I'm gonna have 10 finished pictures. Okay. 10 times 7 means you can have no more than 70 images to make up that. You might only have 50 images or 30 images, or maybe you only have 10 images, but you can't have any more than 70. 7 images per 7 brackets per image. And you upload that, and sometimes it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes. Once they're all uploaded, you put your credit card in, and it's done. And at that time, you can select if there's things that you don't want to get done to those pictures. You always have that opportunity. Okay. Now, and I didn't even bring this up in here, what's going to happen is you're going to get an email. It's completed. And it's going to say, here you go, here's a link, download it. They come back to you in a zip file. They come kind of generically named based on some big long string, so you might have to rename them so you know, here's the front shot, garage, But then what's really cool is I started doing this in 2020. Every job that I've ever done, I can still download the original. I download the completed file. They save the work in progress files, the bracketed files for about a year. And then after that, they start cleaning them off. So I can still access the first job I did back in like September of 2020, which I think is pretty cool. You download the job and then you upload it to the MLS. Now, for those of you who have uploaded pictures in the MLS, who have not uploaded pictures, one of the best things on the MLS is there's a button where you can actually upload multiple pictures. And a little dialog box comes out and you just drag and drop the whole work, select them all, just upload them, then you have to initiate it. And then once it initiates, it's gonna sit and choke for a little bit, churn, then it's done. Then you can kind of move them around like little puzzle pieces. You can say, I want the front one here, I want this over here, Oh, I don't want that one, I want to delete that one. When you delete a picture, it leaves a little blank there, which is kind of a bummer. So it's probably easier just to pull the blank down to the bottom than it is to move everybody else up. Kind of like that game where we have to kind of complete the puzzle, but you have one. My wife loved that game. So you upload all your pictures to the MLS. I don't do any other thing to them. There was a time when the MLS had a complaint that the images were too high resolution, but I think the MLS has gotten over that part of their childhood, and now the images that come from here, I just go open them up, look at them, get teary-eyed, upload an MLS, done. That's the end of it. That's the end of that process. It's very, very simple. Okay. Before we go to one more thing, do we have any questions, comments, concerns? I kind of want to just show the process on here. So give me one second here. Might take me. Actually, I can't do
It's
that.
not gonna be able to do it on the
No,
Zoom.
it's not gonna do the Zoom people.
Well, they should have been here. Oh, it is on the Zoom.
No,
It's
that's
not
not
on
on Zoom.
TV.
That's on Zoom. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Will you share your screen? No, I need to share my screen here. Give me 1 second. I'll share my screen because then I can share the app on here. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go. What is shared? Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna go just like this. I'm gonna say, let's put this here. Oh, I see what's going on here. So we need
It's
to.
not going to the TV, it's only going to the computer screen,
Yeah, okay.
which I can just I can move it so that everybody can see it.
No, I want to get the Zoom
No.
people here. So let's
Okay.
go, give me 1 second here, 1 second. Folks, so I need to go new share, I'm gonna go here.
I can't see what you're clicking. I can just see your mouse.
You need to oh no, here it comes.
Okay.
Okay, so now, now we're gonna go. Let's go here, let's go cast. We're gonna cast entire screen and we're gonna go, here we go. Did it go? It's not going, where did it go?
Yeah. Something.
It's very-
It is very sad.
I made it totally sad and lonely. Oh, I know what's going on. We gotta get back to Chromecast. Okay, now I can cast. Okay,
Sorry.
There.
okay. So,
It's like,
Good.
I know.
we don't think like that.
Okay. So. Here's actually how this whole app thing works. It's really pretty cool. So what we can do is, here's the last pictures that I took of that property, and many of these pictures you saw in our deal here. But if you wanna, if we go to options, your options are pretty limited. Gives you a little shutter delay, a little zoom. How do you want it? And you can say what you want your image enhancement to be. And I just accepted the defaults. I'm gonna create a new job, and this is gonna be. So it says go for away. There it is. I'm gonna actually take a bracketed picture here. It's not going anywhere. Dark, lighter, see how it gets lighter? Has the grid lines on it. It takes a little while extra because it's so dark in here. Okay, picture is done. And in here, you can actually adjust. If you want it to be wider, want it to be a little bit closer. You can select that all right in here. And then once you are done, you take all your pictures, you hit next. Okay, what do I want to have done to it? I just want image enhancement. That's all I want done. Kind of walks you through it. I want to select this picture. I want to get this done. I want to select all. Then you're going to work your way through it, and it's upload. You buy your credits, and that's really the hardest part of the whole thing, to be honest with you.
Do you have to select each editing, like, do you have to pick each editing technique that
You do it once. If you want everything to be, you can set it globally, and then all the pictures you upload will be like that. Did I answer your question or no?
Well, where you had just picked the image enhancement,
Yes.
there were other things that you could pick. I'm assuming that was.
There were other things, there were other services that Box Brownie offers. Virtual staging, twilight pictures.
Oh,
So there were other things. And you're gonna go to their website, you're gonna go, holy cow, I really wanna do that. Out of the scope of this, but they do some other things that you can.
So those virtual stagings cost more. and
Correct.
the
Right, that's a
toilets
whole,
cost more, and-
that's a whole separate
they
hustle.
do the 3D tour.
Yes.
Okay.
So they do a lot of neat things. They have a lot of cool
Awesome.
things here. So here, let's go back. We got one more thing. We gotta talk about here.
So valuable.
Okay. So with regard to what we saw, do you have any questions, comments, concerns? I've used up 50 minutes of your time, and I'm probably got about another 2 or 3 minutes, then we're gonna be done. Okay. There was a great gentleman who always finished many keynote speeches with, but there's one more thing, and there is. When I do my real estate photography, I charge $50 extra to leave them with a map with all the floor plan with all the measurements. There's a free piece of software called QB Casa. Now, this will only work on, I think it's gonna be an Android, I think it's the S21 and above, and the iPhone 12 and above, because it uses LiDAR and actually scans the dimensions of the room. You walk around and you essentially just hold the phone and you take a picture basically at the floorboards of the entire home. You just walk around, kind of do a little sideways sweep floorboards of the entire home. You upload it to their system. If it's below 5,000 square feet, it's free. If it's over 5,000 square feet, they charge you $10. And it comes back in about 6 to 10 hours. And there is an iOS app and there is an Android app. And it comes back with all the measurements, the whole 9 yards on it. And they say they're 94% accurate. Okay, that's much more accurate than I would be with holding my little Dealy Whopper laser thing up against a wall and a piece of paper. Way more accurate than that. And then you can upload that to the documents file of MLS, and now you have some additional facts and data for that homeowner. They can see, someone can see the flow of the house, they can see different pieces
How
of,
does that work with kitchen cabinets and such?
how does what work with kitchen cabinets and such?
This thing, because it doesn't show like where the cabinets and stuff are.
Well, when you look at an architectural drawing up here,
Yeah.
you're right, it doesn't show the kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
So you're
So
seeing outside walls.
how does it know that those are like cabinets and stuff?
Now you're asking me to explain
Okay,
how the
sorry.
software does it thing. I have no idea.
I'm sorry, Tommy.
I have no idea. How do you know? I don't know. It just works. It's one of those things that you just,
doesn't.
I can say that as a JPEG also, and put it into your images, correct?
you can save it as a JPEG. It comes as a PDF, so you can reconvert, you can do whatever you want. Actually, I lied. It comes as a JPEG and PNG, so then you can save it as a PDF and do whatever you want with it. And that turns around pretty quickly also.
It looks like it takes time to take pictures of all the floorboards with all those walls. and
You're not taking any pictures. What you're doing is you're holding your,
Oh, you
He's
just
holding it
framed
going
it
like
there.
this.
you're holding your phone and, okay, hold on. Just one more thing, just one moment here. I'll show you. Let's go, here we go. Then we go here, we're gonna go CUB. Remember what we were talking about with the LiDAR? This is all about it. So we're gonna go scan a space. It knows where the address of the space is. We're gonna go start scanning. It's gonna ask, is it residential, town, or an apartment? We'll say it's single unit residential. Focus on the floor, avoid fast movements. I understand. It's gonna say, turn your phone like this. I'm gonna click on here. Media room. Okay, it doesn't like me talking, probably because I'm sharing up here, probably doesn't like the microphone. Then it starts scanning. I have to move the device against the wall, and you can see there's some little, it'll tell you if it's too close. But I would just take that all the way around the room, kind of work my way all the way around the room. And here's here's what I did up in, that's the example of the house we had previously. You can get it with measurements and without measurements. You can get it combined together. You can get it as a PDF file. All right there.
And the MLS is good with having the measurements in there?
I'm sorry, I don't have a broker's license. I'm not allowed to say what the MLS likes or doesn't like.
I asked if the measurements were okay there, because really, I mean,
Well, if you can do them without it, I know that there's a lot of other agents and other brokers who can do it without it, so.
So I can't comment on that. All I know is that I haven't had any people complain, because I don't upload them as a picture, I upload them as other documents. So just like it would be if you had uploaded architectural documents, or if you had uploaded appraisal documents, whatever it happened to be. Great question, though. I mean, that's a totally valid question.
You're welcome.
Okay, what time we got here? Holy cow, 4 minutes early. I'm giving you 4 minutes in your day. No, you're not. Still thinking. Again, go to this website, has all the resources, everything we're talking about here. All the slides, the crib notes, the whole 9 yards is all there. Questions, comments, or concerns?
I have a lot of concerns.
Okay. Questions?
I have questions about the 3D tour. I don't know if it's off.
We can talk, we'll talk, that's off book. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, we got a lot to share on that. That's a whole separate discussion. Thank you, everybody in Zoom land. Thank you for coming. Thank you, people in the room here. What's it, like 80 people in Zoom? 90,
I don't know.
120?
Nancy said I would include a disclaimer about the accuracy measures in the listing, correct? I agree with you, Nancy.
You can put a disclaimer, but you don't have to put a disclaimer if you're measuring it by hand. Why do you have to put a disclaimer?
No, but it's already in,
Purposes only, so I have to put it on it.
the
If-
MLS says on the bottom of these, the measurements aren't.
If the measurements are important, then the buyer should verify it. That's what I put in
Private
there.
remarks and you're covered.
I mean, though I have seen agents sued because the measurements were wrong, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
go
mean,
figure.
Things
Your
always
mileage may
happen.
vary. You do what makes you feel good.
Nancy says thank you.
You're welcome, Nancy. Thank you for joining. Everybody in Zoom land, thank you guys for coming. We're gonna stop the recording right now. Happy date, everybody.